Hi guys, welcome to this tutorial. I will be showing you the technique of cutting panel flare or cone flare. If that's what you're interested in, keep watching this tutorial because I unleashed that secret, that little technique that will give you sweet panel flare. So first off, I will be using a pattern paper to show us the technique generally, and from that pattern paper, I'm going to cut it. First, I draw my baseline or my start line, and then I'm going to take 10 inches. I'll just measure 10 inches and then I'll connect the line. So this side is my waist and the other side is the length, the fold length. So this is 10 inches and on the other side I'm going to take 10 inches as well. So it's basically a square. We're cutting a square of 10 by 10 inches, right? So go ahead and cut that. And then now we have a square of 10 by 10 inches, and this side we consider it to be the waist. And then on this, from this side, I'm going to go in by 3 inches, and on the other side, I'm going in by 3 inches. Guys, what is happening here? This is my waist, and I'm taking my waist round, my waist circumference divided by the number of panels. You see, so I took 3 on both sides at first, but now I'm going in by 0.25, a quarter of an inch, and then finally I have 3.5 inches for the waist. You see, so there's a general formula you use when you're taking the circumference of the radius of the cone. It is the circumference of whatever, maybe the circumference of the knee level or the waist level divided by the number of cones that you're making. So now we are going to take the full length, but remember we're doing a cone, and with this cone there are 2 full lengths basically. Just let me try to explain this. This is what a cone looks like. So there's a full length of right down the flare, and there's a full length of right down where the plain line ends. So now we had 10 inches, so I'll be going down by 8 inches, eliminating 2 inches so that I can do that circular effect on the flare. So I measured down the 8 inches down, and then I'm going to measure half the midpoint of this point, and then I'm going to connect a circle. But to make this easy, I'll just fold my pattern paper into 2 so that I can, what is happening on this side should be the same thing happening on the other side. I'm going to connect the length, and then I'm going to bring in my curve wheel, and then I'll try to connect this to the edge so that I can have that circular effect. Then go ahead and cut it, and if you notice any sharp edges at that point down, just try to curve it out. So I'm going to use this very method to cut panel flares. So I'm going to be cutting. At first I started cutting 8 panels, but at the end of the day I did 12 panels. So we are going to see that. So you see that effect, you see the cone effect that is going to give. That's what we're looking for. So cut as many cones as possible to give you that sweet effect. You see, now I went ahead to cut my cones. I'm working with length of 40 inches and the width of 16 by 2 is 32. So it's very large, very broad. Like I said, at first I was going in for 8 cones, but at the end of the day I decided to add up to 12. That's why I'll be reducing my radius. I'll be taking 1.75 for all the 12 cones for the radius, because when you take 1.75 times 12, it gives you 42, which is the circumference of the knee level that I am working with. I hope that is clear, please. Now I'm connecting this point right to the full length. I'm just going to cut it. And guys, if you've watched up to this point, please can you like this video? Please give this video a thumbs up, and can you subscribe? I'm just pleading. So now remember, now I'm going to cut my sleeve. They call it sleeve, right? I'm going to cut it. I already cut it using the first measurement, so I need to adjust it so that it should sit very well with this one. And then for that 2 inches, we cannot go up by 2 inches here because our width and length are so large. So I'm taking 7.5, and then I'm going to connect it. You see, it's a circle. I'm connecting it as a circle. So after connecting, I'm going to go ahead to trim and cut off the excesses on my Vaseline or my stiff, anyhow you call it, interface. So I'm just going to cut the excesses, and from there I'll iron it on it. So I've gone ahead to iron it. Now I'm cutting the excess. So guys, I've gone ahead to cut these panels, 12 of them in number. You get, let's count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So in my next tutorial, we're going to be joining these panel flares. I just pinned them. Basically, you see the pins, I just pinned them to see what it looks like, and these are just 4 panels. So imagine what 12 panels will look like.